Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That is the energy that I am bringing to today's competition recap. So I'm going to go through each apparatus. I've been putting it off all day, but we're finally going to take the band-aid off and go through all my routines from the first comp. Below me, I've got a bunch of I've got the end goal for the routines this year, but I'm just going to talk you through the routines that I managed to do in the weekend. First of all, I completely overcooked the front full into the double front, so it was kind of scary in the air. I didn't know where I was going to land. I'm sure I was going to land over, but oh, where did I end that front full? Oh, I was ready to punch here, and the floor wasn't there. So definitely misjudged there a lot. Oh, it's not good in front of everyone, in front of the live stream as well. Anyway, into the back 2.5. Did a bit of a messy layout from it and didn't get the extra front tuck full out of it like I want. Double twist, small hop. The splits. And then the press. I meant to do jet press, but I just wanted to be press, and even that didn't work, so there you go. Scale. I want to do a little shorts video of trying a bunch of different scale things, so that's why the goofy scale. And then a back lay to finish. I hurt my ankles like earlier in the start of the year, and for a long time my ankles haven't liked doing really big like double back stuff, so I haven't really been doing any double back stuff. I had the mat there just in case I had a good routine and I wanted to send one, because I have done a double back onto a fat 60, and I'm sure it would be fine if I just sent it back a little bit further. It'd be fine in the ankles, but the rest of the routine did not warrant going for and finishing the routine off with a double back. So, what a routine, eh? This back 2.5, I mean, this is my first time ever competing the back 2.5 with confidence. Like in the warm-ups, I just did what I needed to do. Never used a mat to warm up or anything. If you watch the vlogs, I've talked about that being a big win for a while. But I'm really struggling to get this exit point into this front layout. Like here wasn't too bad. I just needed to punch out confidently, and I'm sure it wouldn't have been too bad. But in the warm-ups, I was doing like a really far over back 2.5 into like a really low front tuck, and in trainings, I've just been struggling to find where I need to be to get into that punch, which is just really bugging me. Because I just want to move on with this pass, because it's not meant to be hard. I've been doing 2.5s for a while, and it is a triple connection, but it's the second end of it is a front land to a front tuck full, so not that difficult. But as far as the routine, if we look at it down here, it's pretty similar to what I want to do by the end of the year. Just need to add that front tuck full and then a double flip at the end of the routine. So it's not too bad, but it's just very scrappy in a lot of places. Like this double twist, that should be sticking every single time. And this non-acro was just shocking. I felt bad for Max having to judge that. So definitely not where I want to be for floor, unfortunately. But let's just move on to pommel. So if you haven't watched the vlog yet, I talked about how I was only just got on pommel in the last. I only really had one training session on it, which is the day before this competition. So definitely not the preparation I wanted, but I nearly made the routine. I just slipped right there. I slipped on the handle. It doesn't even look like I slipped. I just didn't grab it where I needed to. I just exposed myself, man. But it kind of hurt a little bit on the thumb, but it wasn't anything permanent anyway. Anyway, what happens? Back here. Get the travel up. A little bit messy. And then struggle on the dismount. Max was nice enough to pay it, but I probably wouldn't, to be honest. Struggling this much on a dismount after only doing one skill in front of it, because I fell, is pretty shocking. Like, it should be flying really high after just doing one skill like this. And then the C scissor as well. I think I'm going to take it out and just do A scissor for now, because the deductions on the scissors are pretty hard. And if I want to gain points somewhere, then it would definitely be through doing the... I'll see if I can actually highlight it here. I can't figure it out. I can kind of box it up here. But working on the these two skills, the Russian flop or just any flop, because I had a bit of fun with Stockleys on one handle the other day, and the Tongfei would both increase the value of the routine a lot more than just the C scissor anyway. So I'm just gonna change that to an A scissor, and an A scissor that gets no deductions is a lot better than a C scissor that gets a lot of deductions. And it means I can focus on things that really provide value to the routine. But I'm hoping as I can actually get on the pommel more. I'm not too worried about pommel. I think this is definitely an attainable routine. And bit scrappy again. I shouldn't be this scrappy, even though I hadn't trained on it much. These are skills that I've been doing for a long time, and it's not good enough to be this messy, man. Anyway, let's move on to rings. Not very exciting. But where are we? Hey Donna.
Hey.
I'm doing a recording.
Are you recording right now?
Yep, I'm not gonna cut anything either.
Okay.
What are you on?
No, nothing.
Oh, good.
Just wondering when you're going to be on. Alex wants to play.
Give me 20 minutes maybe.
Okay.
Cheers. Alright, I'm gonna pop a bit of rings. I don't swing on the rings very often. I find if I do some hard work on rings, my shoulder starts to play up, and that bugs me, and it's just not my biggest priority. If I get a straight planche by the end of the year, I'll be happy with that. As you can see, it's a very simple routine. It'll always be easiest or a smallest routine from me, rings. Just not my strong suit, and I don't really care for it to be my strong suit. So if I can just work a straight planche by nationals, then I'll be happy. Every time I do work straight planche, I always seem to overdo it and it brings up an old recurring shoulder injury. So I'm just gonna be wary of that. And this back 1.5, I have to stick that, because this is gonna be my dismount. Even like when I plan out my routines way into the future. I wonder if you can see it here. That is still my dismount way in the future. So I need to stick that every time. I just don't see myself getting any bigger than that without putting a lot of effort and stuff like that into giants and things that I'm just not really good at. But that's alright. Rings is fine, I guess. Might just move on to Volti. Here it goes. Now the frame rate is a bit you probably can't see much of it in slow motion, but here she goes. Big leg separation, and I'll just talk about it after, but form in the air, it's just not great either. I'm a bit hesitant because I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to land too short or anything, but it was plenty of room, and then one big step here. But apart from the obvious things that you take deductions for and stuff, even the bits that I just feel it just looks messy, even the bits that don't get deductions somehow. And I feel like that's just me as a gymnast. I just never grew up with the really tight with like really good basics and like conditioning in my core and all of that, and I feel like that just translates so much into my gymnastics. Even when I am tidy, quote unquote, I feel like stuff just still doesn't look sharp, and that bugs me when I look back at my own stuff. Only when I'm in a tight twist or something on floor, I feel like it looks all right, but handstands or anything, it's just not great. And another thing I'm going to focus on for training in the future is legs separation, definitely. But you can see I'm really coming onto the table. Instead of coming onto the table straight, I'm quite closed-shouldered and just like all bendy in my back and stuff like that. I don't really know how to fix that, but I don't know. It's just something that I'm going to focus on, and I haven't really focused on it much in the past. So hopefully, just focusing on it will make a change there. And for the skills that I have, I've got cuz half and then training cuz full. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. Training cuz full at the moment. Yeah. Let's just move on to P bars. This is probably the roughest one. Another one that I wasn't able to train for a good month or bit before. So I hadn't done any Honmas or anything for a long time before the comp. Yeah, and it just sucked. You can see the handstand there. It's just not a good line, and need to be better. Straddle cut. First time I did it since last nationals. I hate training that skill, but I can compete it fine. Here I was contemplating going for a double front. I did an extra dead swing because whatever. And then, front at rise sucked. I was like, I'll just do a front full. I even kicked the bar as well. It was,
Cool, nice.
pretty rubbish. And what have I got on my skills? Honma. I think by nationals I can get Honma and double front in the routine. Straddle cuts. No, not straddle cuts. Straddle front is definitely looking like a bit of a pipe dream. But if I confidently get double front by nationals, then I'm sure it wouldn't take too long to work straddle front into the routine for the future. But yeah, I'm hoping as I get more numbers back on the P-bars again, I can lock in those Honmas and start working those double fronts again. Let's just quickly move on to high bar. Now, bit of an excuse because I didn't really want to do a dismount anyway, but the setup in Dunedin is a bit dodgy for dismounts. I'm going to pause it. With a... Man, how do I even... There's like a bar over... how do I do this? There's like a beam like over here somewhere. And yeah, Max doesn't even like doing dismounts there and he trains there. So yeah. I'll just show the routine.
Come on. Push it, come on. Yes. Come on.
Yep. Alright. Okay. And then just hopped off. 0.3 step. Lol. Okay. Positives. Ginga. My first ever release at 23 years old, finally. I caught the Ginga, which is cool. I didn't even warm up high bar because I was only doing Ginga, Flying Giant, and Quast. I was like, I think David asked me, are you can, like, it's your turn, are you going to warm up? I was like, it's hit or miss anyway. I'll just save it for the comp. Quickly, from the skills that I have here, Ginga, cool, I got it. Flying Giant, cool, I got it. Quast, cool, I got it. Stolder, I smacked my heel badly on a Stolder a couple weeks ago. And that kind of put me off for a little bit. And I was just focusing on the Ginga, the dismount, Flying Giant, and Quast for now. I haven't actually looked at these routines in a while. This double A4 is definitely not happening. That's going to go to a tuck. And these total D scores will be a bit off, but that's all right. 0.3. Still struggling with the dismount stuff. I think I'm just going to focus on double tuck full for this year. Get a nice one. Excuse me. And then grind for that triple back. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This cost half, I might have a play around with it at some point. It is something that I would take into the future for, like, if I go across some other routines in the future. Quast half is definitely in there. Quast is definitely in there. Because as far as building up 8 big skills in a routine, those are 2 skills that aren't too scary for me when you're considering bringing in other big skills like a Kovacs or something, I don't know. But let's look at this routine. This is messy. Super big arch there. It's not too bad in the air, obviously a bit pikey. But as soon as I catch, it just goes so messy, so loosey, so yucky. Thanks to Bailey and Lockie for throwing the mid in for me there. And this kip up, to be honest, I haven't caught enough gingers over hard and practiced this kip up. So it was a bit, I just wanted to get it over. It's like, oh, please get over. And then this super late half, legs apart. It's probably fine. There's some form errors there. And then this quast, legs apart, bit of form. Yeah, not great. But I was kind of happy with this routine. As far as not being super prepared for a competition goes. Doing a ginger and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the whole competition. I got a competition again, not next weekend, but the one after that in CSG, which is the second biggest competition of the year behind Nationals. All the North Island guys will probably be down for that, which will be exciting. I wonder if I can switch back to this. Can you still hear me? Yeah. But this is where I'm at the moment. This is Lewis competition 2025. And as I'm looking at this, it's been a good year for me for progression, apart from this last month where I've kind of at a standstill with little injuries that just stopped me training what I want to do. But it's been a good year for progression and lots of new skills and stuff like that. But I look at this first comp and I'm just not satisfied at all. It's just doesn't fill me with confidence for the future. And I'm getting old, man. I'm 23. I love gymnastics. I don't ever plan of quitting soon, but people are much younger than me are quitting around me. It just makes me realize my age, and it's just annoying, man. I just want to be good, you know? I've already taken the sport way further than I ever thought I could, coming from humble old Invercargill. And I'm doing stuff that I was never even dreaming of when I was in level 4 or 5, whatever. But it's just not good enough. I feel like I'm just at the cusp on being a good, mediocre, all-around gymnast. And that's not like at World Champs you might get like 50th all-around. I just mean I've got some Ds and some E's in the routines and a few harder skills like that, you know? Just a respectable all-arounder from a small country. I feel like I've got the skills and tools for it, but nothing's just coming together how I want it to, and it's really frustrating. Yeah. Something's got to change, because just thinking about this competition and stuff, obviously the preparation wasn't good, as I've said 100 times, but I probably haven't had a good all-around competition in a good five years, I think. And yeah, it's just frustrating. I want to show some good gymnastics. I know I'm like capable of doing that now, but something needs to change, man. Something needs to change. Those are my frustrations. I'm sure if you're a gymnast going through this weird journey, this weird sport, this weird journey that the sport takes you on, then I'm sure you've felt similar things. I look back 4 or 5 years and it's like, man, have I even progressed that much since then? I definitely have, but sometimes it's hard to see that, and yeah, I just wanna be better. And I'm gonna bring that energy into this training that coming up and these competitions coming up, and I hope everyone can see the hard work that I put in, hopefully, at these other competitions. Something's got to change. Something's got to change. That's probably all I had to say. Hope you enjoyed this. This is just more of something for me to what's it called? To document my feelings and thoughts around this time, around this competition season time, and just get something off my chest, as I said in the vlog. So I've got something cool coming up in the next few days involving the larger senior guys that I want to put on. So I hope that comes soon. And I'm wishing anyone that made it to the end of this, if you did, thanks for watching. And I'm